Joined today in the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. We're here.
Gracias.
Nene.
Gracias.
Well, how do I describe you as an experimental artist, a hip hop artist?
Pues,
like, how do you describe your music?
Pues primeramente puedes decir que, no, disculpa, esto es mi primera vez hablando, pues no hablando, pero no,
Ya sabía hablar antes. The TikTok
yeah. One. I think more than anything, I'd describe myself as an artist. Yeah, not even just make music, but I want my art to be a definition of who I am. Not necessarily just my sound, but the visuals that I give, the words that I use, the way that I present myself. All of that is my art. And I think more than anything, it's just I'm an artist, you know?
Can we talk about your persona? Oh, so you go on your Instagram. I was checking out your Instagram. I was stalking you today.
Yeah.
And I saw
No, I'm just kidding.
What you're doing with your branding is badass with that mask. Like all your posts, you'd have professional photo shoots. It's in the cover of your albums. You go to Desert Underground shows wearing the mask. Like you're just like representing your persona. What is the meaning behind the mask?
It is a reference sort of to my upcoming EP, Distortion Valley. If you ever take a look at the album cover on my Instagram profile, Nene is alive. Nene is alive _. No, I'm just kidding. You'll notice I have the upright cross and the upside down cross, and this sort of, a lot of people have been saying sort of like demonic mask or like
what's the cross's symbol?
So honestly, the cross, I have a tattoo here. These are all like birth dates from like all my members of my family, and here I have a twin. So
you have a twin?
Yeah, I got a twin. So I got mine and his birth dates, and I don't know why. Like when I went to go get this tattoo, my intention was just to get the tattoo, get the numbers, get the birth dates. But as he was giving me the tattoo, I just had like this random idea. I told him, can you put the upside down cross and like the upright cross on each side? And so he did it, and this was like a couple years back, and now just adding it to my art and adding it to my brand, I guess you could say, like I've gone asked this question a lot, and I too have reflected on it a lot. And honestly, I think the reason that I use this, it's sort of more just to set the balance. It's sort of like, it's honestly my way of saying the balance between like good and evil, because I feel like when someone sees a upside down cross, they always have like this interpretation that it's like something evil, or that it signifies something demonic or whatnot. And when they see the upright cross, it's a sign of holiness or whatnot. And it really is just that interpretation of just the balance of it. And I think part of why I wanted to just use this mask, and I wanted to use red, and I wanted to add the horns and just this whole purpose of it. I do it with like a lot of my artistry really is based on like feeling, and whether I just feel if it feels right, or if it catches my eye a certain way, I just go with it. And I think the reason that I use this mask, the reason that I just went with this, well, I think for starters, a lot of my art part of it is an aesthetic. I think I am very much into like color and how color affects a person's mind when they see it. Like I'm not sure if you've ever seen like I forgot his name, but there's an artist who basically just he paints canvases in one shade of color, and pretty much it's like this really distinct shade of color where like he had this whole exhibition. Every canvas was a different color, and every canvas was meant to provoke a different emotion. And part of my art is, again, I think just going back to the balance of like trying to express this sort of like dark side of myself, but also this colorful side of myself. And I think just going back to why I chose a demon, I think when I think about a demon, or when people reference a demon, they think it's something evil, like I've been saying. But if you really look into like the biblical like past and history of what a demon is, it's a fallen angel, and like if you really look back to it, a lot of the demons were just angels that were casted out from heaven, and that meaning that not all of them were, at least in my opinion, most likely all of them were not evil. They just didn't follow quote unquote
the rule society, God's rules.
Yeah, you know, so like, so, you know, so people have this interpretation of demons, and like, I guess I want to give off the interpretation that people see this evil shit, like they see me wearing this mask, or they see me with like my album covers or like the upside down crosses, and like they're gonna assume that it's evil. They're gonna assume that it's like maybe interpreted as something dark through my music. But when I talk, when I show myself, when I speak, when I introduce myself, I would like to think I'm a kind person. I would like to think I'm a open, silly, you know, just the opposite of what evil would be. And like, and I think it's just my way of expressing myself and interpreting. A lot of my art is really just based around expressing and projecting like the balance of things and showing. Yeah,
so it's
people.
like upside down cross, and a regular cross is like a yin, like your own version of the yin and yang, good versus evil, and the fine line between good and evil. Even in the Bible, like, you know, we're getting God's interpretation of what happened too. Like, and you never know. So, are you like a religious person? Do you grow up really religious, or why do you go on that route of that symbolism?
So, I grew up in a Catholic household, as a lot of like Hispanic families did, I think, and or Jehovah's Witnesses. I know a lot of Hispanics or Latinos who for some reason grew up in a Jehovah's household, but
those who's kept knocking on your door and shit.
Can we talk to you a bit about God today? Boom. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't close the door. No, I'm just kidding.
My mom's not home. You're all 37.
Don't answer the door. Don't answer. I'm just kidding.
I like to entertain those people. So like when people come knocking, I start asking questions and getting them all excited. Like I let them sell me. I do this even when I go to like Sam's Club or whatever.
Let them talk.
I let people give me their pitch, or like, you know, like fucking practice on me, and then I like go along like if I'm gonna end up buying at the end,
I'm like, shit. Nah, I'm good.
But at least they got that rep with me, and you know everyone tells them no, and then imagine how discouraging it is to just go door by door. So I'm like, give them time of day.
Yeah, not even just Jehovah's Witnesses, but now you're on that subject. There's people who are going house to house selling shit. Like, I feel you. Sometimes I'm just like, I'll let you say what you need to say, and then sorry, but I'm not interested. Later. But just going back to the question you were asking me is, I sort of grew up. I think when I was younger, religion was a little bit more important in my family. I think because my grandparents were still here, and like they put a lot of emphasis on religion, and you know, like anytime that I would say bye to like my grandma or any one of my two grandmas, like she would always be like, "Oh, let me give you a little prayer. Déjate persigo antes que vayas, and she'll do this on me, and then and I'll be like, oh, gracias, gracias, abuelita. And then but just over time, you know, with you, I started educating myself more, just doing research out of just curiosity. It's just as I grow up with religion, and just I'm very much I'm very much curious and interested in religion and also spirituality. And I think growing up in a household like the Catholic household, in the past when it was more the Catholic religion was more emphasized in the household. What the fuck was I saying? It just it made me, as I grew up more, I started researching more. I just started out of curiosity asking more questions about religion and just spirituality, and
being exposed to different beliefs, finding out some of the acts that have been caused over the last thousands of years over religion. It's kind of crazy how like religion kind of shaped everything, because even though now we're capitalism. Capitalism rules everything. It's not even we do have a democracy. Like, it's badass that we have a democracy, because it's not a perfect system. There's a lot of problems, but it's better than like having a dictator and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw today there was I don't know if the video is new or old, but there was a video of Biden, and there was a dude like, I guess he was like an army veteran, and he's all yelling in his face like, "Oh, you guys support like the Iraq war, and my friends died, and civilians, this and that," and he's all yelling at the president in his face, and then like, you know, like they walk away. But I'm like, anywhere else in the world, you're yelling at the fucking leader of the country in his face.
Executed and
yeah,
shit.
like
Yeah.
you'll never be heard of again.
That's
but
true.
Because we live in a cool
free
speech place. You know, we have a lot of problems here too, but
we do have some things that other countries.
Yeah, there's a lot of
some
things
privileges that other countries don't have, and yeah, definitely.
But now, yeah, like religion, even in America too, religion's still like the Constitution, everything like they mention God and this and that.
yeah.
I don't have a problem with religion. Actually, I have a problem with religion. I don't have a problem with like spirituality and believing in God and all that. But like, for the most part, religions, I just don't think.
It's also the comparison too, and like you see so like just as an example, I've seen like some like radical Christian people who like compare themselves to other religions and say Jesus is the one. You know, that's in a lot of religions. You know, not just this one. And yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy to think like religion and more or less, maybe not religion itself, the idea of religion, but like the church, the everything that is involved with religion itself. Like I've read once, I'm not sure if you've ever read this, that the Bible was like rewritten more than like 100 times already. So like a whole bunch of people have rephrased and rewritten the Bible a whole bunch of times. So like imagine what it would have said in the past compared to now, after like so many like just Romans, so many people with big egos, so many people that are stuck in their beliefs just put their hand in that book. Like imagine how that affected, like, and to think that almost everyone in the world reads, you know, this Bible that was rewritten so many times already. And
and it's been translated to so many different languages, and you know the times have changed. But so what the Bible is, it's like a bunch of stories, and someone wrote down stories that were passed on. And of course, you know, they exaggerate some stories. Some of them are based on things that might have happened, you know, more like the physical evidence of like certain places, certain like events. But I think overall, it's rules of how to live a good life. Like, don't steal from the people around you. So they force too much. they force religion on people to control people because we're savages. Like, we're fucking, if there was no government shit, people would be like looting and defecating in the street and like doing crazy stuff because we're savages. But I always say that we're still apes. Like, we are still. Like, I'm a fucking ape.
At our most natural state, at our most natural state, we are very primal. Definitely, we are very primal. I think we still have a lot of those genes in us where it's to survive, you know, to survive, to be the top of the chain, and just like, I think that is still instilled in us in a way. But you know, of course, we live in different times now, you know, and it's about how we go about listening to those urges and shit. Cause sometimes I just feel like fucking screaming at.
I feel like climbing a tree and fucking going crazy. But yeah, so back to what I was saying is, like, this shit, the Bible was made with like certain rules that don't kill people, don't fucking steal from other people, treat people how you want to be treated,
treat your neighbor right,
you know, like
I
all that stuff, because those basic rules. And then some of the stories, you know, they might talk about like, I never read I know like stories of the Bible, I never read it, but it was like stories about some miracle that they did.
Yeah, or like the burning bush.
Don't think about it as like literally
take
like
it
word for word.
Fiction.
It's more like a story. Like, what was the lesson in that story when Jesus saved all these people or whatever? Like, be selfless,
bro.
Help others. There's a that those are the lessons that are cool, because that was a ways for them. And then they were scared people with like, oh, if you break these rules, you're gonna go to hell and blah blah. And then they started like forcing religion on people, and it sucks for all the people suffering, and we're still suffering because of religion. But like, that kind of helped.
It does.
That's why we're here, because everything advanced.
I get what you're trying to say is like, there is still certain topics and certain passages from the Bible that I definitely do think like that's definitely true, you know, like that's definitely obvious. Don't kill anyone, don't steal. Even like, if you look at it from a perspective of like karma, there are certain things on there where like if you do it, it will come back to you, you know, and like, yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's those parts of that. And
then so what about like your twin brother? Does he make music? Does he an artist? Like, because I feel like if you have a twin, like that food should be very similar to your like similar interests.
So we are very much similar, and the characteristics that we do share that are similar are pretty on point. Like, we do have similarities, but when it comes to our differences, we are pretty like opposites in a way. Where he's a creative, he's a writer, he mostly writes, but like, no, he mainly just, he's more, how do I say, I feel like he's a little bit more technical, he's a little bit more structured type of person, and I'm more of like a
free spirit.
Yeah, go with the flow type of, like. But I think as we are becoming older, like, I was gonna say, like, he's learning more how to express himself fully, and I'm learning more how to express myself fully, and like, I think he's an artist in his own way. Like, he might not paint, he might not make music, or he might not, like, or he might not like do photography. Well, he does do a little bit of photography actually, but for the most part, I think he's a very creative individual, but in his own way, I guess you could say, yeah.
And how do they view like your persona right now with the horns, your mom and everything? What do they say about that?
Honestly, most of them aren't even like up to date with what I'm doing with music. I think a lot of what I do music is I do kind of keep it to myself in a way. And
you don't share it with your family?
I do, but not to the extent where I'm like, hey, I just released. Like, how do I explain it? No, I guess I keep that separate in a way almost.
I mean, they kind of follow you, but you don't like send it to them.
Yes. And I'm the type of person where if someone wants to give their support to me, I would appreciate it, and that's it. But if I don't get their support, like, I'm not, it don't
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm.
But what do they say about the horns? That's what I was trying to say. Not just being an artist, but like you're freaking.
I think they're a little bit. I think at this point they're a little familiar with my style, and they're familiar with who I am. So when they see this shit, I would assume, or I think that they don't assume that I'm just like fucking like just como te digo, como que si se mira como un rockero o algo así, like, yeah. They don't just assume like, oh, he's just dressing dark, like. I think they just see me, I don't know, honestly, that's a good question. Maybe they just see me as me, honestly, like.
Oh, is this Rene doing his thing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they've never themselves personally asked me why I do that, but I think they know that it's most people, I think a lot of people would assume, like I said, that when I put on this, that it's a sign of me trying to give some type of like dark symbolism. But I think for them, it's just like you said, when they see me doing my thing, it's just that. It's like, oh, look, Rene's doing his thing. Like, I love, now that you mention it, I love that. Honestly, I love that rather than them questioning, hey, why are you doing that? Like, what's the whole point of doing? Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't have as much of their support, but that's because I have kept everything family distance. Separate from music. Yeah, in a way.
And how did you start with music? But you told me once that you were doing spoken poetry.
Yeah.
Or poetry back in the day, right?
Yep.
Could you tell us about that journey? Is that your first journey into creative writing, creative performances?
Pretty much. Like, it all started off before sorry.
Oh shit. Oh, face reveal. Nah. Oh shit, took off the mask. Oh my god. Nice.
Ooh, this sounds nice. What was the question again?
Poetry.
Yes,
yes. Is that you started with poetry?
Yeah. Before I was doing music, I was actually pursuing soccer. So
oh shit,
yeah. So a lot of my endeavors, a lot of my passion before music was day in day out. Like I was training for soccer. I was putting as much effort into soccer as I was into music now. Like, put it this way, I was so committed to it. In the mornings, I would wake up, go to work, read while I'm at work, read books about soccer IQ. That was the name of the book, Soccer IQ. I would go to work, read, stretch during lunchtime, after work, run. After that, stretch, meditate. And then after those moments, after I would do all my exercises, I would start doing a lot of research into mental health and how to reach my mind to like its physical peak, or like how to improve my mental state of mind. Because all along that way of just learning about soccer, it taught me a lot about, because in soccer, one would think, you're running a lot. One would think that it's mainly physical, but honestly, in my opinion, soccer is 50-50 mental and 50 physical. It matters as much what you do without the ball as you do with the ball. And like I almost took that mentality.
So you played high school and all that?
I played in high school, not in the high school team, but I was in a local team. And actually I've been playing since I played. I don't play anymore since I started music. But I started when I was like 5, and because my dad he got you guys into soccer. Yeah, pretty much. He got all his kids except my younger brother. What position
do you end up playing?
I ended up playing defense. I've always been like center defense, and I was always naturally good at playing defense. And I was honing in on that during my my years of just training. But low key, I was also practicing to like be forward. So like hopefully one day start in defense, move to mid, and then end up as forward one day. But this going back, I started doing a lot of research into just mental health, and just through that journey, I started researching. First, it started with psychology and mental health and how exercise affects your brain. And just like, then somewhere along the line, I started getting into psychology and then philosophy. And then I started, all throughout that time, I've always been a fan of music. So I was listening to music, just always listening to music, always looking for new music, always listening to new artists, even before I started music.
What kind of music do you like?
Honestly, I'm very much...
Give me 5 of your favorite artists.
Okay, 5 of my favorite artists. First one, Frank Ocean.
Okay.
Frank Ocean, top 1.
Then you gotta go to Coachella now.
For real though, bro.
If that's your number 1 fucking artist, you better go to Coachella, bro.
And then it's first time coming back.
You got 5 weeks to make $500. I don't know how you do it.
Starting a GoFundMe.
Go sell fucking waters. You make $20 a day. 20 days. Bro. Wait, no, how many days we have? We have like 24 days to Coachella, or 25 days.
Finger count.
Or if you go weekend 2, you got like 30 days. Shit, I don't know how much. Do the math.
Calculator, Siri.
All you have to do is make, I think, like $20 a day for the next 20 days. That's $400.
Okay.
Can you make $20 a day? Somehow.
Technically, maybe I can.
Yeah, fucking make some graphics. Fucking, I don't know.
Sell myself. Sell some drugs. I'm just kidding.
Hit up the local plug and be like, hey, you need to expand your business. I got a lot of artist friends that are a bunch of addicts. We could get started.
I could slang for you, bro.
No, I'm just saying. So that's why going to Coachella, because before the podcast we were talking about, I asked you if you wanted to go to Coachella, and you're like, no, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
But right now it's only a month. It's a little crunch time, but that's why you could save up throughout the year.
SOC
$500, bro.
SOC, and like,
and we spend money on dumb shit. Like I'm be buying like dumb drinks or weed or like some
very true
clothes
very
I
true.
don't need, or
I almost did the payment plan too, but I just hesitated. I was like, nah. I'm good. But damn, bro.
So anyway, Frank Ocean, my bad.
Nah, don't even trip. Frank Ocean. Kanye West.
Oh hell yeah! Shut up.
Sorry guys.
Nice. It's art. You separate the art from the person. The person, bro. Sometimes they do some crazy shit, but yeah, Kanye. Shout out Kanye.
Third. I either want to say third would be between Gorillaz or Interpol, I think. You know what Interpol is?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know Gorillaz too.
Yeah.
They got to be a Coachella too, bro. I'm just saying.
I know, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Pusha T's gonna bring out Kanye, bro. You gotta go, bro.
And honestly, that Motomami, Rosalia's album, that Motomami,
Fire?
I listened to it this year. Have you listened to it?
No.
It's amazing, bro. Like,
I know her famous songs, but I never really got into her.
Yeah, no, just that album. I just listened to it
really
out
good?
of curiosity. She definitely experimented a lot, I think, compared to her other albums that I took a glimpse at. But I listened to the whole Motomami album. That shit's fucking fire.
Yeah.
Fire. And Frank Ocean, Kanye West.
Interpol, Gorillaz.
Yeah, but even then, artists that I really look up to, Frank Ocean, Kanye West. I really like Daniel Johnston. Are you familiar with him?
Nah, I never heard of that.
So Daniel Johnston, he, like Kurt Cobain, it was one of Kurt Cobain's biggest idols as well. And like, I think that's how I found out about him. I think I saw a video of him. Kurt Cobain wore Daniel Johnston's shirt, like a performance once. And I just looked up the name. And yeah, I think it's this guy. It's this guy who recorded all his songs in his room. Like if you ever go listen to his songs, it's not bangers. It's not bangers. It's not like fucking drum and bass. I think he just sings, and he had one of those little pianos that you play and it has like the little drum machine there. So like, it's very simple, but I look up to him because he does not have the best voice, but when you listen to his music, like, you could definitely tell he put in his all. And I watched a documentary once too, where this guy, I don't know if he had some type of mental disability or just didn't have the resources, but what this guy did is he never, the way he recorded his albums is he didn't go into a studio. He recorded it on cassettes. So instead of selling it to people, what he would do is he made the cassette, and if someone wanted a tape of his, he would record the whole album over again on another cassette.
Oh, just copy it.
And he would just record the whole thing himself again through a little cheap microphone, just recording on a cassette and just give it. So imagine how many people probably asked that guy for a fucking album.
That's crazy.
And he literally just made it all over.
He remade it every single time.
And like,
so he's just getting better at it.
Yeah,
that's sick.
And he was the type of guy where like there's this one of his songs where like the audio is like him calling a guy, and he's like, "Oh, I wanted to ask if you'd be down to help me do a song." And he was like, "Okay, like when do you need me to help you make the song?" And he was like, "Oh, like right now." and pretty much the audio is like the guy playing like the instrument like from the phone when he called him. And like, yeah, I think that guy is one of my favorite artists. Not because his music is amazing, but just because who that guy is as an artist.
There's a story behind it.
Yeah.
And then those little clips that's like a behind the scenes type clips that makes you attached to him.
Yeah.
So not the music. Yeah, that's like a good way to share content, behind the scenes stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's a really old artist. I don't think he's alive anymore, but yeah, that guy.
Shout out to that guy.
Shout out Daniel Johnston.
Daniel Johnston.
Yeah, R.I.P. Cool guy. And fourth, I think I would have. I think by now, I don't know why, J. Cole was one of my biggest rappers at some point.
Yeah, J. Cole gets down.
And even now, like I love his albums. I love all of his albums. But I think I look up to him a lot as a rapper, as a lyricist. But as far as like the whole music, I mean, I know he produces most of his beats by himself. But I don't know. I hesitate to say that he's my fourth favorite. Probably just because his latest music. I don't know if you listen to his latest albums, like The Fall Off and all that. I haven't taken the time to listen to it again, but I checked it out and it just, I don't know. It felt
right now what he's been doing. I haven't really like been a super fan, but I've been seeing right now he's like in the stage in his career where he's promoting new upcoming rappers. He's like getting them on collabs with them or collabs with him. Because in his last album, he had a shitload of collabs, and he was known for no features and stuff. So now he's like guys that he has under his label that he signed, he's trying to promote them. So right now
like
he's like,
Dreamville.
Yeah, he realized, like he did his own festival now. Like he's at a bigger level.
Others.
Let me help everybody come up.
You know what? J. Cole, number one. No, I'm just kidding.
J. Cole's badass.
Yeah, bro. And honestly, when you put it that way, yeah, I do see it that way. And the way that I saw like is it off season or the come up or what's the name of what he's like?
I'm not
sure.
The
basketball court in the back burning. But that one,
yeah.
The impression that I got off of that one is I felt like with that one, he was definitely more. I think he was using that as practice on his like, yeah, like I said, he's really, I adore his lyricism and his flow and just the work that he puts in for his lyrics. But I think that's the thing, at least for that album, that's what stood out to me. Is there wasn't really a beat that I heard that I was like,
how do you write music?
How do I rate?
Right.
Oh,
like, you're talking about lyrics and J. Cole. Like, do you like put on a beat and then you just try to think of a subject, or how does your process work?
Should I go back to the original question though about how you asked me about how I started off, or
we never got into poetry?
I totally just like
we'll get back into the writing later. Yeah. So how did the poetry start?
Yeah,
so you're doing soccer. You were self-developing through
self-development. Started looking into philosophy, into literature, and somehow I ended up into poets. And then I started watching interviews for like different artists, musicians that I like. And then I started noticing that a lot of these artists and musicians that I look up to would be like, oh, I used to listen to this poet, or I looked up to this philosopher, or, I listened to this artist. And they were all artists and things that I was looking up at the time and I was interested in. So it just sparked my curiosity as to like, oh shit, these people, like these artists, these singers, these writers, I share something in common with them, or it feels like I share something resonates with the way that they are. Like I get this guy. Like, to me, like I remember watching a lot of like Jim Morrison's like interviews when he wasn't under the influence, because there's a lot of where he probably was, but he just hearing him talk and the way he talked about like his writing, and you could tell he was very philosophical about the way he spoke, and just someone who really thinks a lot. And I think he's one of the few artists that sparked my curiosity as far as like expressing yourself as a person, I guess, or expressing your ideas. So then I started noticing all these patterns, and then I started looking up lyrics. I think the first artist that I started looking up lyrics for were the Beatles. And there are certain songs that I just like heard. Like, have you ever heard, there's this one song called Within and Without You, I think. And
no, I'm not really into the Beatles. I know like maybe like 6, 7, 8 songs. Like, you got to know at least some.
Yeah.
But I never like actually.
Yeah, I dove into it pretty
Submarine,
hard.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Although I'm a Walrus too.
Classics.
That's the best one.
A lot of classics, bro. And I think as I started looking up their lyrics and started looking up their history about like their album covers, I've seen that one album cover where it's them in the front and like a whole bunch of like other artists behind them, like different as random like sketched out, like they took out the pictures from like books or whatever, and it was just different artists. And yeah, I just started looking up lyrics. And like at some point, like I just remember sitting in my car one day, and like I just thought to myself, like, why the fuck, like why haven't I ever, at that point I was like journaling, I was writing in my folder, but I never even considered to write a poem. Mm-hmm. And one day I was just like, why haven't I tried just writing a poem? Like, I'll just write one. Like, fuck it. Like, I should just write one. And then I wrote one, and then yeah, pretty much that's where it all started. Is I wrote one poem, wrote another one, started getting more into it, wanted to improve on it, and started going to open mics to share my poems. And like, then it got to a point where I just felt like I wasn't expressing myself enough. So I just felt like words wasn't enough. I felt like if I wanted to leave an influence, if I wanted to make some type of effect, I felt like poetry is not that common. Poetry is not that popular anymore. There isn't really as much
influence. In what way, or what do you mean by
through that? My art, through my message of what I'm trying to say with my music? Because I think a lot of, honestly, if I'm being real, one of the biggest reasons that I'm doing music is to to express my ideas or to bring some type of influence through my lyrics, honestly. And like I don't, I almost want to say some type of positive influence, but more than anything, I think my intentions are to make people think, make people reflect. And I think that goes back to the balance of my whole, like, you know, my whole art and just the cross and everything. Like it's expressing to people the dark side of life, but also the bright side of life, or expressing to people that life is shitty. Life can be shitty. Life is going to be shitty, but not always, you know, not always. And there's always, without bad or without good, there is no bad, and without bad, there is no good. You know, like we can't tell. We would not be able to even understand what good is if we never knew what it meant to be, quote unquote, bad, or for something to be wrong.
You don't appreciate the good moments if there's no bad moments.
Yes, and I think that's also I think that's a big thing of what I'm trying to express through my music. And
what was the first song you ever made, or before you made your first song, like what kind of research did you do? What was going through your head? Where you're like, bro, fuck, I gotta make this.
It was a lot. Cause like it started off with like, okay, poetry. How did these poets become better at what they do? And then I started learning about structure, rhyming schemes, and just how you pronounce words, how you write things, what certain words mean when you pronounce them a certain way, or just all these little details. And then just once I started wanting to get into music, then it was, okay, should I learn guitar or should I start making beats? Should I learn how to do piano? So then it was also learning how to go from writing poetry to writing lyrics, because honestly, I do feel like the structuring and the way that one person writes poems compared to the way one writes lyrics for a song is definitely different. And that was one thing that I needed to learn. So there's the lyricism part, and there was also the part where before I think I learned lyrics and I felt like I wanted to focus on lyrics. So I attempted to actually start a band like a couple times. Like,
oh shit, nice.
Yeah, so like there was a homie of mine, Eddie Shutter Vivids, not Vivid Shutter. He's a photographer, but he's also a drummer. And there was another friend of mine, Chris, who was a guitarist. I pretty much just hit him up and like hit those guys up and jammed out with them a couple sessions, and I also hit up, and that didn't really work. And I hit up other friends of mine. One of them is named Jocelyn, and I think the other one was. It's been a good while. I think it was Chris, or I think his name was also Chris, or I don't think so. I apologize, bro, but it's been a while. Interstellar Fiction, I do remember they had that band, but it didn't really work. I think too because I was still learning how I write, how I create. So
you were just gonna become a writer for the band, or you're gonna be a singer for the band?
Oh, yeah, okay. Singer and writer. That's what I wanted to be. So that's my intentions were find a band so I could focus on that. And so I tried starting the bands, or tried looking for people to create bands with, but it just, like I said, I was still learning how to be a singer, how I create, how to communicate with musicians, what I want, and like, and I think in a way they were probably growing as well, not musically, but I think just as people, and also just how to communicate their ideas. Because yeah, like I would go into a lot of these jam sessions, and I remember one of the biggest things that since I was still becoming familiar with like PA systems and speakers, I remember one of the biggest problems I had were like, we would be jamming, they would be playing the drums as loud as they can, my friend would be playing the guitar amp like super loud, and like I had no idea about how to like volume control, or just
Yeah.
like telling them that they should hit a little harder or play a little less louder. So there would be a lot of situations where I would think to myself like, am I singing too soft? Or they would tell me like, oh, I think you need to sing louder, and I would find myself like fucking screaming and shit. And there would be moments where like my intentions going to start a band were to create. Were like you know, like if I hear him play, if I heard my friend play a little drum loop and a little guitar like little guitar note, and I like the way it sound, I don't think I was the type of person to speak up then, but I would have loved to have been the person to just be like, hey, keep playing that note, keep playing it, I'm gonna write something down real quick. But since I didn't speak up, and since we didn't really communicate, what would happen was just like my friend would start jamming out the drums, and my friend would start playing notes on the guitar, and like somewhere along the lines he would just fucking start soloing. Yeah. and I would just be there kind of like, you know, waiting for the moment of like, when should I come in? Is this when I'm supposed to come in? Or like, and like, yeah, and it was hard to find musicians who were also committed to wanting to take the time to practice every day and commit to actually being in the band. And it just got to a point where I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do everything by myself. Like why? Just again, the same mentality that came up with me about poetry is like, why the fuck? Why don't I just try to learn this myself? And like, yeah, then from that, I paid for a little bit of guitar lessons. Fucking went to like, I remember I went to like this piano teacher. I didn't even pay for lessons. It was just like a little introduction class. Yeah. And she like taught me like a little bit about the keys, but after that I never went back. Oh, damn. But that alone did teach me a little bit about just the whole layout of the keyboard, and learned a little bit about bass. Just a little bit, enough to know how it sort of works. And then from there, I started making beats on my phone, and like all of this throughout this whole scenario was learning instruments, learning the lyricism, how to construct lyrics, the emphasis of certain words, like I said, music theory, fucking how music theory works, how emotion works in music, just fucking how also just looked up a lot of seminars, and a lot of like, there's a lot of like college courses on music that you could find on YouTube that I ended up finding, and I ended up taking notes from, and like it was just learning everything, like, and then learning a lot, like from scratch. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of this was from scratch. Like, yeah. I had no experience of music when I was younger. Like, no one in my family, from what I'm aware of, was ever known for being an artist, ever known for being a musician. Like, we don't have like, oh, that's your Theo, this, you know, he's a musician, he plays a lot of guitar. Like, no, I didn't have any of that. Even growing up, I was never introduced to art or artists. I never even knew the concept of like, you know, abstract art, or, you know, realist art, or just realism, and just all these types of arts, and just artistry. And I was never introduced to any of that. So like later on, as I was older, just as I was discovering, reevaluating myself, I started learning more about art. I started learning more about the effect that art has had on society, or just the impact that it could leave on someone. Just like when you listen to a fucking song, and a song could make you cry, like that alone should say a lot about how music affects people. And like, yeah,
music is one of the most powerful
inventions.
Yeah, one of the most powerful inventions that humans ever made.
Literally everywhere, almost everywhere you go,
like you connect with other people. Even like you're watching an artist perform, it's a moment that you create with the artist, that create with the people around you,
bring everyone
those
together.
Memories. Or like then you go home, or like the next day, one of their songs will come on, and now you're like subconsciously you're thinking about the show. Like, oh shit, when I watch this person.
Yeah.
Just I don't know.
So music has a big impact. Music is very impactful, you know.
Shit. I love music.
Yeah, I know you do, bro. That's why we get along.
So you made your first song, and then how?
Oh wait. Honestly, like, I started learning beats. I started off on my iPhone. Like, I started making beats on my iPhone, and like, I went maybe like 2 years without a laptop. Like before, well, since I started poetry, I went for a good while without a laptop, and like just just working beats on my phone, like going back to like at that time I had already committed to music, so I was no longer like committing myself to soccer anymore. So now I spent a lot of my time, the same effort that I was putting into soccer, I basically just rerouted it and put it towards music, and just every day everything that I did, music, and what the fuck?
So you're learning about drums, you're learning about music theory. Leading up to your first song.
Yes.
You committed everything that you used to commit to soccer to learning about music.
So I think my first song, if I remember right, my first song was actually playing like little strum chords on guitar. Like, since I wasn't good enough to play guitar and sing at the same time, I believe my first song was recording the guitar, playing the drums first, and then recording my vocals over it. Yeah, and then but just before I even recorded vocals, like I said, I spent months on top of months. Like, I remember there would be days where like I would get off of work, and instead of heading home, like I would kick it nearby where I work, because it's sort of like a empty spot. No one passes by where I used to. Like, it's just like this. It's like next to a country club on Avenue 62. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's like in the middle of nowhere, so no one really passes that by there. So that was the same place where I ran and meditated after work. But now I started, like, I would run, meditate, and afterwards I would basically just spend time like in my fucking car, just like
editing music,
fucking recording and shit, and like to the point where like I remember like my hands would like get cramped up, like, and yeah, no, it was just, and then just, you know, the more I progressed, the more I also started learning about branding and promoting yourself as an artist. It's not just about what type of music you make, but it's also about how you present yourself, what ideas, or just who you want to be, who you want to say you are as an artist when you put yourself out there. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like before last year, before I even started promoting my music, like I was telling her, like, before I started promoting my music, I was very secluded. Like, a lot of my focus was just honing in on my art and just honing in on what type of art I want to make. And I think that's part of why that's probably why you never heard about my music. No, that honestly, like, I just
you're kind of isolated in those growing years.
Yeah, and in a way, I think I was genuinely being real with myself, in the sense where, like, I did think to myself, like, is my music ready to be out there yet? Am I ready to share? Is this what I want to share? Is this good enough to share? And no, most of in the past, like, no, like, honestly, like, I made a lot of shitty work before I made some decent work, you know, and like, and it was up until last year, you know, just went through a lot of like personal issues, and just coming out of that shit, and just like rerouting my focus more on music, and just realizing and noticing how much progress I've made. They kind of made me realize, like, okay, I think now it's time to just go. Now it's time to put myself out there. And that was the moment where, like, when was this? That was the first time that I decided to go out and just start interacting or go out as a musician, or as knowing that, yeah, it was that one show that first show that, like, was it, who was the Tina Turntables, I think was her name, was on the DJ. It was that one show where...
Coachella.
Yes.
Last year, almost a year ago.
Yes, that was literally like 2 weeks before that. I had made the conscious decision of just like, yeah, I think now I'm going to start committing more time to promotion and more time to actually getting my music out there, and like, and yeah. And
so it's been less than a year.
Less than a fucking year.
So how's the first year for you?
Honestly, it's crazy.
How's the response from people? What did you expect? What do you think it's harder than it is now?
You know, I don't I don't think I ever thought about what the response was going to be from people. I think my only focus is just making progress. I think I don't really, but I guess part of that progress is noticing how people react to your music in a way, I guess. What was the question again?
How was your first year as an artist?
Yeah,
like the ups and downs, and how much music do you end up dropping in 1 year?
I think it's fun, but as far as like the promoting part, it's definitely, it could be very overwhelming. That could definitely be overwhelming, thinking about the consistency that you have to keep up with sharing and staying up to date, and just, if you like, it's no longer about whether you just create good music or not. Now it's about how you get your music out there, and in what form and what way, and just like, yeah, no, it was fun. Like, it started off, I believe, so I started off with my first single, which was Fuck It, but it's pronounced SFUCXIT. As fucks it. As fucks it. And that was the first single I released. And I think I performed, as a matter of fact, the first performance, or the first song that I performed, was at open mic. But it was more or less just to test the song out. Just sing one song, and that was it. I think I read a poem after, but legit performance, I think it was the Locked and Loaded, the one where they let me perform like as a special guest.
Yeah, right here with Dead Man and stuff. Yeah.
So it was, I believe it was the single, and then I believe I released a demo song called Reflections of Tao, which is pretty much just like a little acoustic with like my vocals. Just, it was, I think my intentions with that one was just to present another song that's a little different from the very first single that I released. And then after that, I throughout the process, I was getting my album ready. I was working an album up until that time, and that's when I released like my album Not Myself. So it's let me see, it was 1, 2, well, the album, I believe it was 12 or 11 tracks, but about like five or six were skits. So I guess you can consider that there was actually like 5 songs on the album. So if it's 5 songs plus the single and the other demo tape that I released, so far it's been 6 songs in a year, or at least 6 songs in a year. So it's those songs and performances since I started promoting. There's the Locked and Loaded. There's the one that you let me perform at it was a low-key Desert Underground. Yes, low-key Desert Underground show. CV meetups. That one, it was dope, by the way.
Footage coming soon sometime.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, by the way. I appreciate what you're doing, I should just say. I'm pretty sure a lot of artists. I appreciate you, your crew, everyone from Desert Underground. Adam too, shout out. Amazing work, guys. But where the fuck are they? Damn, bro, I lose my track of thought.
I think you need to smoke some weed. That's what I'm thinking. We're gonna take a little smoke break, but just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
And what was the question? Again?
You said you performed Locked and Loaded, Desert Underground, and then
Locked and Loaded, Desert Underground, and I believe after that
24 Bank, or you did some of the dispensaries.
No, it was not the dispensary. I think after that, I want to say after that was, Bart's. After that was, I performed at Bart's. So it was Locked and Loaded, the CV weekly one, or CV, was it? CV?
Meetups.
CV meetups. Shout out Daisy. CV meetups, and then after that was Bart's Lounge. Bart's Lounge, I performed in Bart's Lounge. That was around November? I think November. Yes, November, because no, wait, scratch that. Beginning of November. It was in the beginning of November. I performed at Bart's Lounge, and after that was the Tamale Festival.
Who else was on the Bart's lineup?
Bart's Lounge. It was Rolo.
Nice.
Shout out Rolo, and Saving Slytherin. Shout out Saving Slytherin.
Sick.
Have you familiar with them, or
they were on the podcast?
Oh, okay. Fuck, I still I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, that was cool. He played. It was just him by himself.
Noel.
Noel, yeah.
Yeah, legend. That guy's
I was trying to get him for the rock show. The last one just happened, but he wasn't. He was moving or something last minute.
That would have been a good option.
Yeah, I invited him, but maybe in the future we'll get him. And we're talking about Lord of the Rings and shit. So
he seems like the
well, he fucking likes his slithering. But anyway, so you perform all those, and then
and one more actually. It was the Tamale Festival, and after the Tamale.
How you gonna invite to the Tamale Festival? That's sick, bro.
Yeah, honestly, and it was. Well, it was my friend. It wasn't him particularly. From what he tells me, you know Gons or El Gons. The Gons. He used to be in the Alchemy, the band.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out Gonzo.
Yeah, legend. He, at least from what he told me, I believe he was a little bit in charge, or he was part of the people that suggested what artists should go to the Tamale Festival from local artists, I believe so, and he put my name in there, and he actually. I don't know if I'm allowed to. No, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say this. No, but he said out of I can't remember exactly, but he said out of a good portion of 200 artists or something like that, a good amount of artists, they ended up choosing me and the other local artists that performed, of course.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and when he told me, I was like, oh fuck, all right, all right, dope. It was that's how I got it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm assuming maybe Gons is just a very observant person, and maybe he just noticed the work that I was putting in, or he told me that himself. Yeah, and yeah, he thank you to that guy, honestly, because that was my first paid performance and my first taste of just being surrounded around artists, just being backstage, getting there, and Egyptian Lover was performing. It's this 80s artist. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, and honestly, he's an artist that I went through a phase of listening to his albums because I loved his sound, and just getting there and seeing his tent there, and they fucking had chips and shit set up for him for when his people show up.
Yeah,
it was just cool to see oh, I'm a part of this group of artists that's gonna be performing here. It felt interesting to get a taste of what it is to just be around that type of environment, and it was dope. I feel very grateful for it, and yeah, it was amazing. The sound was amazing. I genuinely feel I was a little underprepared because the month before that Bart's festival, at the Bart's show, I went and I performed kind of sick. I went in there with a risk. I went in there thinking to myself because I had not been feeling so well from my throat. And I went in there thinking to myself oh fuck, should I perform? Should I not perform? And I ended up performing, and afterwards my throat was fucking honestly, I think injured. Even up until now, I was injured the whole month, honestly, and it really it halted me from from rehearsing and going into the show. I felt I was underprepared, and even then I feel I could have done better, but it honestly, I felt it was a good turnout. Honestly, even though I went a little underprepared, it felt it was a good turnout. Specifically as an artist, I feel I'm always observing my performances, and I always see that there is things to work on. Especially since I'm still becoming familiar with being comfortable on the stage. Yeah. Aside from all that, it was a dope experience, and I enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that they give a lot of locals the Tamale Festival opportunity, different stages. There was a lot of local artists. I didn't get to see you. I think I was out of town that day.
I just neither Mello.
Oh, so it's Mello.
Shout out Mello.
So is he your personal photographer? All you do? Do you do Mello. Photos of somebody else?
Wait.
Where do you get to meet this fool?
Nah, Mello. I just saw his.
Fuck that fool.
Fuck Mello. No, just kidding.
He's I love that
man. Cool. I love that guy. Amazing.
He's
person.
A little sad right now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, because of
Man City lost 7-0.
Oh, I thought it because he was going through his personal shit. Wait, what team does that guy look up to?
Oh, he's a fucking Manchester United.
Oh, okay, okay. Seems like
Red
that
Devil,
type.
the greatest football club in all the land. Have you guys seen Euro Trip?
No, hey, have you seen that? Have any of you guys seen that? The new show where that guy like buys like a soccer team, he buys like a soccer team here in the U.S. Like the whole show is about like this actor, this guy like running pretty much building a team.
Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Ted Lasso, yeah.
Yes. No. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen it. It's badass.
Yeah, I have not seen it.
I don't know. Is there a season 3 already or no?
Yeah, it just started.
Oh, it started?
It started, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Damn, they already have 3 seasons. I've only seen 1 and 2.
So he was like a football coach here in the United States.
Like football.
Like American football. And then they, some team that was like about to be relegated in England, they're like, we need to do something drastic. We need to do something that we know. And then this guy went viral on one of his clips, like motivating his players. They're like, what if we get a football coach? Like, we already fucking suck getting all these, like, let's get an American coach and see what happens, And we'll have like assistant coaches, do the game plan. So he comes in, he's like a super redneck American. He doesn't know shit about soccer, but like he knows about like how to motivate people, get the best out of players. So the show, even though it's about soccer, it's really about like mental health, about personal relationships, some of the divas in soccer. I think you would love that show, bro.
It sounds
so
amazing,
good.
bro.
It's so good.
I'm gonna look that shit up.
Ted Lasso. It's on Apple TV.
Okay.
So if you have an iPhone, you have to sign up. Apple Plus. It won a bunch of Emmys too.
Damn.
Because it really does dive deep into mental health.
He's a good actor too. That one guy.
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis.
He was on that movie too that you mentioned earlier that you quoted, no?
Which one?
With right now before I said the Ted Lasso, you quoted that movie about the
Euro Trip?
Yeah, is that? Oh no, wait, that's not. Is that?
I don't think he's in Euro Trip.
No, I'm thinking of that movie, The Family, where like they.
Oh, We Are the Millers?
Yeah, I'm thinking of that one actually. But that is him, right? That is him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's a good movie too.
Oh, shit.
He's like, no regrets, not even a single letter.
Fucking a fucking tattoo.
That movie was funny as well. It's still funny as well. That's a really good one. So spark that shit up, dog. Nah, bro.
Oh yeah, shout out Mello.
So this was just like your personal photographer.
I'm trying to remember what because I'm pretty sure I saw one of his photo shoots online, and I decided to hit him up if he would be down for a photo shoot. But I'm trying to remember what specific photo shoot was the one that stood out to me that made me want to hit him up.
How many photo shoots have you done with them? Most of the song they say smoking Exo Jeter down to the stimma, and then they're just like.
Down to
that one. So that's about smoking Exo Jeters, I guess.
Shout out Amadeus, Dead Main. You should check out our song, What the Fuck. And I just can you believe that
with
song?
Amadeus?
Can you believe that song, or at least from what he tells me, that was his first feature?
Oh shit, that's hard.
Yeah, he told me that was his first feature. That is true.
I haven't seen him on any features. That's good.
So like when he told me that, I was like, damn, bro, thank you. Appreciate you.
So how many songs do you have out now?
So I think in total, it's about 7. And I think with this EP that I'm going to release, I should probably push it up to about 11. I think this EP.
When are you dropping the EP?
So it was supposed to be set to release 24th of this month, March.
Yeah.
But I think most likely I am going to end up delaying it until like April 9th, or maybe a little bit longer, just because I'm in the mixing process right now and there's been a lot of changes. I actually ended up taking a song out and just started working on a new one. So right now we're pretty much working on finishing that song. And yeah, just pretty much prepping. Because honestly, as much as I appreciate everyone that supports and all the fans that are watching this now and in the future, like honestly, deadlines aren't really like the importance to me. I think it's more important to me that I create a great project or a project that I'm proud of rather than just sticking to the deadline, whether the music is ready or not. Like, no, to me, the music has to be ready first. And yeah, and it might be released on April 9th. And I think, yeah, it should be about, I'm going to have an interlude, which would just be vocals. And I'm thinking about getting a friend of mine to do those vocals. And it should be about five songs most likely. Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
That's cool.
It's gonna be fucking dope, bro. Like,
and then you said right now you have no music videos. So you say you're about to drop one, or you're gonna be working on one, right?
I want to. Yeah, this year, I want to aim, and I'm going to release a music video and merch, and that's my goal.
That's cool.
That's my goal because I don't have a music video and I don't have merch. I have prototype shirts. You've seen my shirt. Oh, actually, hold up. Can you hold this? I'm gonna take. Oh, I love it. Me? Like if it's
bro,
a jersey.
Stop twerking on the fucking podcast, dog. Damn.
Damn, getting scandalous.
Get it together, bro. Take one hit of that Jeter, bro. Jeez.
No, but yeah, no. Pretty much, this is like I have concept shirts. I have these type of ideas that I do picture on a shirt, and like I have ideas already. I think mainly it's just about the funds at the moment. But as far as like music video too, like. I know the reality of it is I could have made a music video a long ass time ago. I could have fucking grabbed my phone. Thank you. I could have fucking took my phone, found a couple angles in my room and just fucking do it. But like, honestly, like I've been mentioning to you, the ideas that I want to express and the thoughts that I want to share, I want it to be just as impactful visually as it is audioly, you know, like through sonically through the ear. I want it to be just as much with music, and I think that's why I've been hesitating to make a music video, and that's why I haven't made a music video, is because I want it to be a good music video, a really good music video, or at least something that just shows off who I am, or you know, and yeah, and I have ideas for a lot of music videos as well. Like, you know, I've even hit you up before about like I have certain ideas that I wanted to even record here, like at your place, and like, and yeah, no, I'm very excited. I genuinely feel like I'm going to create something that feels fresh or new to other people, you know? I'm not going to say different. I'm not going to say unique, but just something that feels fresh and, you know, yeah, fresh to people. Like,
do you have goals as far as like reaching a certain amount of followers, reach a certain amount of streams, or is there like standards that you want to reach?
I think I do have a goal to grow my fan base. I do have intentions to get myself out there, but I do ask myself, what type of crowd do I want? What type of crowd do I want to bring in? Because I know the words I say are going to influence what type of people I bring in. What type of sound I have is going to influence what type of, like I said, video visuals I have is going to influence what type of people I bring in. But as far as like followers count, like I try not to really think about likes and followers and things like that, but because honestly, someone could invest a shitload of money for followers, and you know, and they could have 1 million followers within 2 months, but that doesn't make a difference about how good their music is. Or that doesn't make a difference. You still, even the people that do pay for followers, you see that they pay for their followers, and then you go to their fucking comments. And they have no engagement. Yeah, there's no engagement. No it's fucking so engagement. You know, so like, bro, it's so obvious. It's like so at least to us, like you and me.
Yeah, like I've never paid for followers or nothing. Like, I mean, I've been doing content for a shitload of years. You know.
Can I say something though? Mm-hmm. I do respect in some way that obviously you do have to advertise. You do have to advertise in some way, but as far as like paying for streams, paying for followers, I don't know. You know, sorry to interrupt you. Go on.
Yeah, well, followers is dumb. It's just put out a good product. You know, it takes time, and you build up to like where you're trying to go, and then once you need clarity. So, why should people follow you? You gotta show ways that you're relatable. So the more you post, the more that some people relate to you for certain reasons. So, let's say you're talking about soccer. People that like soccer be like, oh shit, this fool like soccer.
Este güey jugó fútbol.
Yeah, like, oh shit. Oh, yo jugué con ese güey.
Yeah.
So like now, and then they might not when you talk about like your favorite movie, they might not even care about that piece of content, but every once in a while you'll talk about soccer, so they'll be more engaged with that, and then you'll start streaming your music.
Yeah.
And because they like you, because you're a friend with them through soccer or something, they're like, oh, check out the homie song. Like, what the fuck? He dropped the song. Some people are curious, you know?
Honestly.
So you just got to keep posting yourself. Just whatever you're doing. And the same thing, document
you know
what you're doing. So like right now, you make a post. I'm doing a podcast. You're not creating content. You're not fucking dancing. You're here doing that. When you're in your room writing, you can I'm writing a song right now. Let's see what I come up with.
Yeah.
When you're in the car after work or something, like, fuck, I'm tired, you could talk about some little story about work. Or I don't know, like.
It's true.
Just talk about what you're doing. And because you're posting so much, the other thing is how people consume is we're scrolling a lot.
The fucking algorithm, bro. That's another topic that we probably.
Yeah, but this is the point. Like, how many times a day do you think you scroll?
A shitload.
Like, since you wake up.
Dude, you know, can I say something, though?
Yeah.
I read this, or I watched this video the other day about, like, the complexity of, like, nowadays, you know how it's, like, instant gratification and shit like that, where we're just, like, constantly getting instant gratification. Just the thought about, like, how many emotions we go through literally, like, in a minute or even in, like, 20 seconds, you know, you scroll once, you see a video that fucking makes you like laugh, you scroll again, you see something that's like makes you think like, fuck, like this is pretty fucked up. You see it, scroll again, like you just like, oh fuck, like you see something that makes you like you know, think about something else, like makes you feel sad, or just like that, just like the single thought of just imagine how many different emotions we're like going through
just
in
through your
couple seconds, yeah, and the whole fucking day.
It's true. I never thought of like you go from being happy to like shocked to like curious to laughing because a comedian or whatever, some dog video, like
then I don't know, two people fucking fighting in a fucking restaurant and like some guy with his fucking hand fucking hanging up.
Yeah, so the whole point of posting you doing you, because people do this all day. If you're just posting every day, everybody's seeing you daily. Whatever it is, like sometimes they might not like it or comment. Sometimes they will because they're really interested in that. And then they scroll past it. But every day they're scrolling past some piece of content that's yours. And then it's like the rule of 7, like the rule of like you see an advertisement 7 times, you end up buying that product.
Oh, I never heard that before.
Yeah, so it's like a study. So if you see some kind of brand, by the 7th time, you end up buying the product.
That shit's fucking crazy.
So if you're always on the timeline, bro, people will fucking see your shit. That's why Mills, when he goes to his shows,
shout out.
So Mills posts every single day, and I've been telling this fool it, and he's like,
he does.
I've been telling.
Bro.
I told how my day is, and I told Mills. I told everybody like just post, because let's say you're posting your song, you post it on Monday. Some people like, oh, they see it, whatever. Maybe they don't even listen to. They scroll it. You post it on Tuesday. Oh shit, like that. They actually listen to it this time. Then you post it again, and then you could post a lyric video or something. Just change up the ways you post it.
And other people who fucking ignored it 2 days ago, maybe
they're gonna like it
3 days ago.
Because they might not even seen it because they're scrolling 1,000 times a day. But if you just keep posting more, you're always on the timeline, bro. And then they're learning your lyrics. They're learning the little beats. Boom, you keep posting, and it doesn't matter. Like
that's the crazy thing.
That's it.
To me, like that's the grueling part about like being a musician is. That's the consistency that you gotta keep up, and like that's part of how you get yourself out there, honestly. And like as much as we don't want to have to do that, some of us, me, it's part of it. And like,
but you could just be posting shit that it's not even related to music, like,
and that's the truth too. To another, if you look at it from another point of view, is that's very much true. Is like all it takes sometimes is a minute, like literally, like. Boom, put the little text, post, you know, and like that's it, you know, and like, but like I don't know.
I know. I
guess procrastination.
It's
or we overthinking. Like
if I post this, it's a little cringy, or if I post this, people might not like it.
And that's true, honestly. That's.
But it doesn't matter.
Yes,
like
and that's true.
Nothing matters.
That's
bro.
true. But I
fuck it. Like 20 people might not like it. but maybe 60 people liked it. And you know, and
those
then those people that
fucking
didn't like it, when you post another thing tomorrow, they might like that thing. So you know, it's like sometimes every post is not for everybody.
SOC.
And I've been noticing that with my social media, because I'll post something in Spanish or like Spanish music, and I'll get certain engagement.
And then
if I post something more like with hip hop or something, I'll get certain different engagement, different people commenting.
It's kind of it's usually the same people for the, or not you. Sometimes the same people for the hip hop, and you know, sometimes the same people for the Spanish music.
So it's I see kind of like differences, just from, but yeah, just posting. I post a lot, but I feel like I could even post more, bro. Like I should be posting a lot more.
Right now, like I told you, right now I haven't been. Honestly, let me get some water real quick.
Yeah, bro. So I'm happy about this podcast so far. It's been pretty badass.
Wait, you want to call it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Could keep going. Keep the people going.
Yeah, I love it.
No, yeah. So yeah, bro. Just keep posting, and you could even post your songs, like you kind of like singing along.
You can make people laugh, make people cry, make people
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. And honestly,
or just show them what you're doing. Like you don't have to create it. You're showing them what you're doing. When you go to see maybe you go to a live show, you always go to shows like, oh, here I'm watching these foods, and you make a post that you're there and you tag the artist. Now they're sharing it, and then other people see you, you know,
interaction. All
yeah,
that
like,
shit.
And then that's kind of cool because you're already at the show. Like you go to all the shows, or let's say you go to the movies or something. Just be like, fuck, I just saw Black Panther, fucking whatever, or then just you know.
I've been staying
whatever.
You know, I have heard about though. Do you think? Can I ask you a question though? Do you think sometimes not posting anything sometimes brings more attention, as depending?
Yes.
You know, like you get me? Like,
yes.
So I think
it's both. So
yeah, I think
it's gonna be a strategy. Like post a shitload, and then go ghost them for a little bit, and then when you post again, make a badass post, like something that you.
Hey, don't give it away. Nah, I just kidding.
Nah, fucking
Adam. Nah, I just kidding.
Nah. Now it's like you gotta share, because so even that there's no competition, bro. It's if I help you grow,
I agree.
You'll help.
I agree, guys.
Grow.
I agree.
People are listening to are gonna grow, and whatever it is, like
honestly,
and then the world is so big. There's 8 billion people, bro. 8 billion, like.
And that's the thing.
Insane.
That's the thing about like I agree, bro. Like that's the thing about you're right about like everyone bringing each other up. You get me? Like yeah, you're right. Like it is good to.
It's gotta be you gotta be part of the community, and a lot of these artists are part of the community. They're always like sharing.
To share ideas, stuff. You know, if you got a good idea, share it with the artist, and hell yeah.
And I mean, like seeing different artists connect and shit. From the shows I've had, like I see them interacting now and shit. Like,
and you know what? As a matter of fact,
share experiences.
I want to give a shout out, Desert Mob. Yeah, Desert Mob.
Desert Mob.
That's so it's not much of a it's a thought and process right now. A lot of us artists here in the valley are like talking amongst each other and like thinking about making like a group project together. And like, but it's just like a possible idea, and it's there's Amadeus, there's Lavish, there's Mills, and then there's Shaggy, there's Deadmane. Who else? I almost feel like popping it up.
Are you guys gonna make a rap group?
Yeah, fucking.
That's hard. Who's in charge of that?
Honestly, basically put it this way. I know I missed out some people. 133 as well. It's everyone that was on stage the night that Amadeus performed.
Yeah.
So it's everyone there. Homie Gabe, Cheapskate, Amadeus' sister. I think her friend's name is Gigi. She's in it as well. And yeah, we're staying in contact right now because a lot of us are working on our own separate projects, but it's something that we're talking about, and it's something that's a possibility. And I would love to work in a group, bro. Like I've always thought about doing some shit like that, you know, like Brockhampton type shit, you know, like That shit would be dope.
Yeah, that was what it started. That's how I got the idea for Des Underground. Watching Brockhampton for that.
Yeah, you told me I think
I was like fucking all these artists together, and then they're hyping up the crowd. They're singing along, so it just looks super sick. Everyone, and I was like, they should do some shit like that. That's sick. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna talk to them days. That's gonna be bad, bro.
Yeah, so it's still, yeah, like I said, it's a thought in process, but we're talking about it. So many amazing artists here in the Valley, bro, and just like I completely resonate. It just sticks to my mind even right now about what you said earlier about just helping each other grow, because like everyone has something to say here, you know, and like I would love to see all of us, you know, just climb up and get to a high point. You get me?
Yeah.
Get to somewhere where we all want to be, and like that shit's. I want to see that, not just for like everyone who's in Desert Mall, but everyone, you know, like content creators like you, or just like painters, photographers. A lot of people who make clothes out here too. A lot of spoken poetry artists as well, and just like bands and just like brands. A lot of people that have dope ass brands here too, and just like, you know, all those coffee shops too, and just like. Mm-hmm. I always have this dream or just this thought, this image of just everyone being heard, you know, everyone being heard from here, you know, like, because there's always all this talk about like LA, there's always all this talk about New York, but like there's a lot to be said here in the Valley, you know, in the Coachella Valley.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, and every other small like town, every other small city, you know, like across the country or whatever the fuck, or in the world even, but like every small place has something to say. It's crazy to think. We think about all these centered areas that are popular and very well known, but just imagine how many artists there are just like in these small rural fucking deserted nowhere to be seen places.
That's so true. I never thought of that, bro. Yeah. That's crazy. Now, there's probably a little rappers like in Hemet, like Beaumont,
fucking Idlewild and the trees Idlewild. And shit. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
kidding. They probably are, bro.
Yeah, who knows?
Some kid, he's like, fuck, I'm stuck in this fucking mountain town and shit. Damn, that's insane. There probably is so many artists just everywhere, bro. Just everywhere. Everywhere there's people, there's artists.
Creators, you know? Artists, creators. Yeah, no. Would you consider what you do like this? What would you consider yourself? Like, what name would you consider yourself? Like, you know how you told me, would you consider yourself an artist or musician? What would you consider yourself? Oh shit, my bad. Didn't even put you on the spot, bro.
Probably like a director.
Okay.
Or a producer. I love
that.
Producer.
I love that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna start my own record label. It's gonna take a little while, but that's like my goal.
Oh shit, bro! Your record label?
Yeah.
Your own record label?
Yeah, hey. that's the next step.
Sign me up. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so now it's gonna be a broke record label. We gotta get some funds, but I'm gonna see if I get some investors.
That's dope.
We wanna invest?
Okay.
Hit me up.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start a record label because.
Oh, you're telling that, or you're telling them? My bad.
Everybody.
Invest.
Well, if everybody invest, we'll come up with the plan. But yeah, so the plan is like sign an artist, and then I'm gonna fucking just the same thing we're already doing. I'm already doing
for real
interviews, fucking
photos,
videos. We could do music videos,
performances.
I could put them on stage.
Hey, you know that one guy? Remember that one guy that you told me about? Or remember that one time that I messaged you about like that I was like, hey, what did I say? What? When I told you, when you posted that video about the guy and like posting like that now about that he had all the resources and shit, and like that there's other artists that don't have the resources. Remember when I told you that shit? I don't know if you remember, but the guy, just that guy, what's his name?
La Russell?
Yes, like. I think it's dope. Your place is like your place almost has like could be that too. Like
I know.
Just throw like
I
little shows, you know, like little shows.
I found that fool and I was like, wait, this was doing what I'm kind of just getting started with. Like that's so cool. And Yeah, like
how he throws
super
like
inspiring. Yeah, and he just gets support from the community, and like people come to the shows once a month, and now he's doing tours and shit,
yeah,
and just spreading positive messages and shit. And like
yeah, that
sick.
shit's dope. Respect to that guy.
We're kind of doing stuff similar.
And honestly, you are honestly fuck. Just
a little
just
higher
as
production,
good,
but
yeah.
But you know,
Because his is just like pretty raw, huh? It's just
pretty
like fucking
backyard,
PA
raw.
system, mic, and
yeah. Now we're doing something pretty cool.
But
with
yeah,
this. I'm excited for the next one.
Oh, yeah?
May 14th.
Are you
13? Yeah. Saturday, May 13th.
Any? Fuck. I'm curious. I don't know how to ask this question, but I'll just say that I'm curious to see like how the backdrop is gonna be this time. Cause like, is it gonna be the same or different? Like,
it's
is
gonna
it gonna be
change?
Because I know you had a.
It always changes.
I love when you had like the circle. Did you have I love how you had
triangle.
the heart. Do you have the? Oh, so you did have a triangle.
Triangle, the hearts. We had like the other spaceship with the Mexican one. That shit was bad. Yeah, no, we're gonna do something different. Hopefully bigger this time.
You know what? I don't know why. I really love that one show you did on Halloween.
That was cool in the warehouse.
Yeah,
huh?
it was interesting.
You played a cool character. This one.
Yeah,
he
fucking.
did a not break character for like 4 hours. I can't believe it, bro.
I fucking took like little note cards with me that had words in them. So
you were a mime.
Yeah. So anytime I'd said something. Fucking dope as fuck, or my name's Nene or some shit.
That shit was funny, bro. You did not break character until like 1 a.m.
Yeah, after I smoked like 3 J's and shit.
How were you? Like, you had your own weed, or you asked people for weed? Do you have a weed card?
No, I had a little J with me there, so like I was just smoking there. It was like the fucking
anyone got weed?
The mime paint on it.
That's crazy. That was a good fit. That was a good outfit.
Honestly, bro.
That show was cool. So I haven't hit the fools up, but I think I'm gonna hit them up for another show, bro.
All of them there, or?
In that venue. I mean,
okay. Yeah,
I love that venue.
You should. I love the vibes. I love how you had the little back area too. You had the bathroom there. The stage was in a pretty good spot. The little white backdrop. I don't know if that's gonna be the same backdrop, but it was good space. Like, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was almost like the perfect size. Like, you could fit a good amount of people in there, and like when they got packed, like it was still pretty comfortable with it being pretty full.
Yeah, it was nice. We didn't have a food vendor though, and
that's true.
I think that a lot of people left early for that. But it was
hey, but that's how you learn.
Yeah, we
take
learn.
notes. Next one, right?
But yeah, we're.
And so far, you've had taquero almost every show.
Taquero comes through and he sells every time.
What is it? What is
Tacos
it?
El Panda.
Yeah, I love
Pepe's Tacos. I mean,
is
Pepe's Tacos.
They gave me one of their shirts. The one that said, "If you're reading, or if you're reading this, it was like the cover of the Drake album. What was it? That if you're reading this,
it's too late.
Yeah, that if you're reading so instead of saying if you're reading this, it's too late, they said, if you're reading this, it's time to get tacos or some shit like that, but like in the same font and everything. And that shit was funny. Yeah, they gave me a free shirt. Shout out. Legends. Their tacos are bomb, bro. Yeah, good choice.
Tacos are always
good choice, man.
The next show is going to be fun. And it's our first show that it's going to start in the daytime.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to get a couple of days, and we're going to get like sunset times too.
Shit.
With the rays of the sun.
I'm excited.
Fuck.
I'm excited. You've been doing a really good job at taking notes. And
I'm trying to make it better every time. Parking got better in the last one.
I agree. Awesome. I agree. I love that shit, bro. When I saw those people there, I was like, yup.
It was finally good. The parking was kind of like people were parking in the street and shit, and then, like, I don't want to get shut down. So yeah, everything has been good. We'll see how this one is.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go good.
I'm trying to put together the lineup so far.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I got a few artists already.
Can I ask who? Or no?
Nah, not yet.
All right.
It's top secret.
All right. I know there's gonna be a lot of good ones, so.
Do you want to perform?
I'd be down.
You down? Yeah, I had you on the list. I was gonna hit you up. I was gonna wait until
what?
Podcast.
No, I'm just kidding.
So you're in the next Desert Underground.
Yes. All right. I gotta start rehearsing.
Hit the blue button on the roadcaster.
Is it a sound effect?
No. Like on those colored ones right there. No.
Sorry.
The one at the top.
Hey, by the way, do you do
The one on top of that one.
have,
No, on those the same button that you press, but the one on top, I think. There's like an applause button.
yes. Damn, bro.
You're in the next Desert Underground.
Thank you.
Wait,
Hey, by the way.
wait, Nene, you're in the next Desert Underground. I forget that we had sound effects this whole time. We gotta make
Shit.
we gotta start.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
What the fuck? That shit was funny. You could also do custom voices. So we could say like
distorted.
no, like you could make a phrase that when you press the thing.
Oh, like loop it.
Yeah, like little.
Shit.
Yeah, we should like think of something to do it.
Hey, do you ever do any edits with like when you edit and post it on Instagram and like put like music? Has anyone ever said anything deep enough for you to put like deep music over it and then a little caption and then post it on Instagram?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like let's say you took this clip, like let's say I looked in the camera right now and I like said something deep, like, but you posted it on Instagram, but you added like set like deep music over it. Have you ever done anything like that or no?
I feel like I have. I'm pretty sure I have like some older videos, but I've done it for a couple things that were not for like YouTube, but it was like more corporate videos.
Can I try it out?
With these clips?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, I just have one thing to say, okay? For anyone out there watching, if there's something that you want to pursue or something that you want to chase after or something that you have in mind that you want to try that isn't killing anyone or causing harm, you should do it, all right? And just remember that's it.
Just remember what?
Just remember, okay? I think this mic might fall off of the pole, but all right. Just remember, life keeps moving, and I fucked up. Never mind, bro. Distortion Valley. No, I'm just kidding.
God damn. Destroy the tapes.
Is there any vinyl scratches? And I just yes, good timing. Wait, do you guys hear? Does she hear that or no? Only we hear that. Oh, there's like sound effects right now.
Like, why is everyone hearing shit?
Yeah, he has like sound effects.
Damn, I think I had another pair of headphones.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Anyway, so Nene, before we take off,
yeah,
well, where could people find you on social media?
So my @ is Nene is alive _ Spotify, Apple, and everywhere else it's Nene. Or if you want to find it easier, just put Nene and then put Not Myself, and my most recent album will pop up. And yeah, that's where you could find me. And a EP coming soon, Distortion Valley. About all the distorted views that we could possibly have here, living in places like this.
Well, thank you. The 13th, May 13th. I'll see you guys. Like and subscribe.
Oh, later.